Welcome to my home. It's a space where I unwind and relax. Whenever I get home, I look forward to spending quality time with my family, such as having a meal or watching a show together, or just playing with the kids. Home is also where I have my favorite books and where I do some reading. I enjoy reading, and the insights I get help me continue to grow both in running Love Bonito and being a mom.
Hi, I'm Shabir and this is the Library Report, where we chat with fascinating local figures and uncover their personal stories. In this episode, we meet Rachel Lim, the co-founder of homegrown fashion label Love Bonito, and discover the books and stories that drive her in running Love Bonito, being a mom, and everything in between. Let's meet her. And do stay tuned to the end of the episode for a chance to win something special. Hi.
Hi,
Rachel.
welcome.
Thank
Come
you
on
very
in.
much. Thank you. Hello. Rachel, thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate it. I want to know, how did this passion for reading start? Has it followed you? Has it grown since you were a kid or teenager?
Interesting question. I think passion is a really strong word. If you were to talk about passion, I think it really only developed very much later in my life. When I came out to start my business, I realized that, wow, there is so much that I don't know that I need to quickly equip myself with. And I realized that reading was the best and quickest way for me to be able to learn from other people's experiences, wisdom, lessons. And that was when I also really started the journey of reading. And along the way, its positive effects on me, my mindset, my personal growth and journey. And that was when I really became very passionate about learning, growing through reading.
And I'm curious, what were you reading when you were much younger?
When I was much younger, I'm still quite young, but when I was much younger, I think really more like fiction books, stories in that sense, and nothing serious like non-fiction, self-help, leadership. Non-fiction really came about later in my journey.
And I'm really curious right now to see what's on your bookshelf. I want to see all the titles. Shall we go check it out?
We shall. Let's go.
Let's go. Your bookshelf looks amazing, and I see some familiar titles as well. Very interesting choice of books. I'm just wondering, was there a philosophy behind keeping it in the living room itself?
Yeah, I think the living room also because I really wanted a space where I could display, most of my books, and a wide enough space where, it can sit nicely in a bookshelf. And also I chose the living room because, every day I pass by this space, right? I walk in and out, and it reminds me of my love for reading and how reading has really played a part in my life.
So when it comes to reading these books, right, have you completed everything?
Well, some
Pretty
of
much,
them,
yeah.
I mean, there are some where I reached the middle, and after I realized that it's not as useful as I thought it would be at this season in my life. So I would just put it aside and hopefully maybe come back to it later.
Right. And you're someone who reads multiple books at a time, or are you someone who needs to finish, be monophonic with it?
So over the last 18 years since I started seriously reading, I've tried different ways to see which is more effective. Because sometimes if I read 2 at once or 3 at once, I realize that I might have forgotten or been confused, with certain concepts. So I try my best to just focus one at a time.
Right.
And also, when I travel, I also ensure that I have a book with me wherever I go. I would just take a book out and try and complete reading it.
And if let's say I ask you to pick out 2 books from this shelf that has helped you in your entrepreneurial journey, which one would that be? I know it's a very tough choice for people like us, but yes.
I would say, books by John Maxwell definitely have played an integral role. And if I may pick one, it would be this, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. One of the key things that I learned from this is that, John believes that everything rises and falls on leadership.
Right.
And that for me is such a great reminder, to constantly take ownership of every decision, every mistake as well, and to continuously learn and grow, because the better the leader is, the better the team is, and the better the company is. So I think there's so much wisdom in this book. Another law maybe that I love is really the law of process, where he talks about, leadership is something that's cultivated daily, not in a day. And that for me is such a good example to, remind myself to keep learning, honing my skills, growing, developing as a leader.
It's not like you wake up one day and like, I'm going to lead. No, it's like you got to wake up, I got to do something to be a leader.
Yes, and to grow as a leader. And that's comforting for me, because to know that leaders are not necessarily born. Leaders, are cultivated. This is definitely one book.
Brilliant.
And the second book for me, it's gonna be hard, but I would say definitely a book by Jim Collins. In all his 25 years of research and more, I think, he really studied the Fortune 500 companies and why some companies make the leap from good to great and why some don't. And he condensed it into some key principles here, and I find myself, going back to the book again and again and again throughout my entrepreneurship journey. One of the key things that I picked up early on was the hedgehog concept. He calls it the hedgehog concept, where it's the intersection of three spheres. The first sphere is what is something that you're really passionate about. The other one is what is something that you can be the best in the world in, and what is something that drives your economic engine. And it's the intersection of the three that will make you go from good to great. So really love this, and I think I've always had so many nuggets of wisdom from Jim Collins' books.
So do your kids share your enthusiasm for reading?
Well, I hope so. I really believe that the love for reading can be infectious and can be cultivated. And so I try to expose reading to them when they're young.
Right. What's the first book that you read to them?
I can't remember now, but definitely I will always look out for books that allow me to exaggerate or dramatize and make it fun and interesting for them. I tend to look out for books that, have that creative imagination element, and also books that perhaps have some underlying message of a key value that I want to impart to my kids as well.
Right. So we've learned how books have helped you professionally. I'm curious, how have books helped you personally, like helping you with your life and shaping your personal philosophy?
Yeah, tremendously. And I think one such book is, as you know, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
That's a classic, yeah.
It is a classic. And Viktor talks about his time, surviving through the Holocaust, and how even in the face of immense suffering, adversity, challenges, he chooses to look at the cup half full instead of half empty. And one of the things he said here is, if a man knows his why, he can survive any what and how. Exactly. So I think that for me also reminds me of, going back to meaning, purpose, fulfillment in life. And I think it has really encouraged me again and again, if I can't change a situation, then I'm challenged to change myself and how I look at things, situations, challenges, and suffering. So this is one such book. And I also really love, this book, Inward. And this is more of a recent book by Young Pueblo. He's a poet as well. And he has many, many short poems of how we can overcome different life challenges, the different perspectives we can take when we face adversity.
We've been talking a lot about books that you read. I'd like to talk about the book that you helped create, Lili, the Lioness and Friends. Just very curious, like what made a fashion label venture into the realm of children's literature?
Yeah, I think for us in Love Bonito, firstly, our mission is really about empowering women and journeying with her through the different stages of life. And one of the things we really believe in is confidence and self-confidence. And so when the team came up with Lili, the Lioness and Friends, I think first and foremost, it's a female-fronted animal character book. And also, the underlying value behind that story is really about community, finding a tribe, cheering each other on through the ups and downs in life. So that was what we really wanted to create. And at the same time, the proceeds of the books actually goes to lower income communities in Asia to support young girls through education, which is also something very close to the brand's heart.
What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs?
I would say keep investing in yourself, investing in books, investing your time in reading, learning, growing. Never stop being curious, never stop learning and growing. The other thing is, for young entrepreneurs to keep staying close to your customers. Their preferences change so quickly and so often, and it's really important to stay grounded with them, to really understand why they're making certain decisions and choices in certain products and services, and keep being one step ahead of that, to provide for them and to also make their lives better through your products and services. And sometimes it can be lonely as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and I think it's important to seek out mentors, like-minded, like-hearted peers, to be able to talk through and share your struggles, your journey with. And I think that has also helped me tremendously in this journey to give me that added strength and motivation.
Rachel, thank you so much for sharing about your journey with books, in professional life and personal life. It's very inspiring, and I learned a lot from you today. Thank you so much. Before I go, I want to take a selfie with you.
Selfie, wow, yeah. Of course, let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Thanks for watching this episode of the Library Report. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and leave a comment about other projects at NLB that you'd like to know more about. Before you go, if you want a chance to win a $30 gift voucher, all you need to do is leave a comment down below telling us what is your favorite self-help book and why. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you will know the next time we upload a video.